Hello everyone. I'm just coming on. I'm a little tired to do the weekly energy reading. Mondays are just like really rough, so usually I can power through, but Monday and Sunday of this week and last week were just energetically tough. So if it was tough for you guys, let me know if it was just me feeling it or if it was everyone. And even this week is going to be a little low. I just want to say right now, you might notice, it depends on where you're at, but I definitely want to notice where it's here. So this is the 3 days of darkness and healing. It is a time of healing. It is a time of a little bit of darkness. And it's interesting because I knew this was coming about a month ago because they were told me. And I'm like, so is it going to be dark? And it was super hazy and super foggy here, but I'm on the coast. So tell me what the weather's like is here. Because of that, I am definitely doing a 3-day fast, because of the healing aspect and the portal that's opening up. And it's just a day. It's basically the 3 days before SHTF and what's going to come. So let me know if you guys, where you're at, if it was hazy, if it was a little darker, if it was a little dimmer, and I'm talking all over the country and the world, because it's 3 days of darkness and healing. In the Catholic Church, the 3 days of darkness is really scary, but it's not like that. It's very light and airy. So let me get to the energy reading that I channeled from my ancestors. I know it's late, but I'm back in the game now. Yesterday I just had to sleep. If my body's tired, I go to sleep. I don't try to fight through it, because right now with all the energy we're taking in, that's just not the thing to do. You need to really honor and respect this vessel, because that's what's going to get your frequency high enough for when the big shift comes. You rode the waves and you're there. So let me see. I wrote some notes. Okay, this week's energy is channeled from my ancestors, as I like to say. Out of all the people I like to, there's a lot of people who channel different beings in different realms. I channel my ancestors. I do it because I find that I love my archangels. That's where I started. But them not having an earthly experience, sometimes when they speak, it's very high level. And when I work with my ancestors, because they have had an earthly experience, their advice is a lot more grounded and it's a lot more practical, which is also, my lineage is very practical, very much so of a manifestor and a magician. So you get like a different angle that other channeling mediums don't always get, because they're a little too, if you haven't had an earthly experience, yeah, you're going to talk about love and light and what's in your heart. But my ancestors just talk differently because they know what's needed on this earth in order to survive and thrive. Okay, so it's different, and I'm doing this because a different melanated ancestral guidance is needed to cut through everything, to just get a little bit more clarity from what I'm saying. Just clarity. So what they said is that the energy is fraught with potential and possibilities, and it's an amplifying effect in either direction. And I have to say, I've been noticing this. So I'll tell you how I've seen it personally, even this week alone versus in others. So basically they're saying it is a time of absolute creation. And it's not just creation in the sense of like today. It's like creation, your projection going forward. What do you want? And it will amplify either up or down. So, so be mindful of your thoughts and actions, they said, and avoid, and a void is being created to be filled. Okay, so that's what I wrote. So when they said that, they were just saying, right now we're stepping into a complete blank canvas. And a lot of your past hurts, a lot of your past trauma, yes, that's there. But right now we're stepping into a void, and you really can create anything you want. If your thoughts right now are of the negative, you're going to amplify the negative more so than you've ever seen. It is definitely not just for this week, but it's like a buildup of everything. So it's really time to shift. I know for me personally, I've really been working on my energy and trying to stay focused on the positive and what's next, and trying to stay in joy and gratitude for my life, which is natural when you walk in spirit and you're really connected to your spiritual self, because you can manifest easier. But definitely I've noticed a breakthrough. Like for instance, one of my missions is to be a speaker, not just doing the YouTube videos, although it's part of it, but like on a grand stage. And just this week I found out that I'm speaking at a forum, and there's going to be big names that are there. There's going to be like Dr. Boyce Watkins is going to be there, E.T. the hip hop preacher. And if you're in the Black speaking community, you know who these names are. Even if you're not, you probably know who these names are. And they're going to be there, and I'm going to be on the stage with them. So now I get to say, you know, premiering alongside of these guys on a virtual conference. And it was something that is on my purpose and path. So it was brought to me, right? When you're in your purpose and path, Spirit's going to bring you what you need because you're acknowledging and you're being very intentional about being on your path. So it was something that brought to me. And so when this came like yesterday and I found out I'm on the stage with these other people that they were able to get, and these other speakers who are big names, I immediately saw this huge path of potentiality of when I approach anybody now, I'm like, hey, I appeared alongside speakers such as X and X. And being able to say that opens me up to the mission and purpose. And this just happened this week. And so the intentionality that led up to this week is me, okay, I'm supposed to be a speaker. All right, let me start speaking. Let me start reaching out to people. Let me start doing and talking about the issues I think that are important for people to hear for the healing that needs to take place on this planet. But then having this opportunity, you can see, I mean, like, I can see how huge it is. But I like to say it's a build up of a lot of work to get here. So whatever you've been building up is going to be amplified. And if that has not been the most positive, that is okay, as long as right now you can sort of shake it off and step into something new. Just realize everything you're going to be doing is amplified. That's not always easy. So if you're angry, it's going to be amplified. If you're upset with life, it's going to be amplified. And the great thing about free will is that we have it, but the bad thing about free will is that we can also go low, and it's going to be your very physical, real, aggressive choice. So I would love for you guys to be aggressively into what you want. Use what you don't like just as a tool for going, all right, I want to manifest X. And just be mindful this week that the division that is needed, the polarity that is needed, right? The light and the dark, if you watched my 3D, 5D split, needs to polarize. This election in the US is going to help polarize. It's going to be obvious who is in the light and who is in the dark. And I know that this is the lead up to that. And so this is basically the start of that. So if you are going downhill, it is time to redirect it. It doesn't get better, right? Wherever direction you're going, it doesn't necessarily switch. You're going to have to be very intentional about it. So if you're going up, great. That's just going to be amplified. If you've been going this way, all right, I actually wouldn't be surprised if you start having to choose, to be quite honest. We don't get the on the fence choice right now. It's either light or dark. And if your life has been going really strained, like my sister, this is a year where if you're not handling your business, it just piles and piles and piles and piles on. So if you were going more towards the dark, it is going to be piling on. So right now, it's so important right now to just switch it. And the dark doesn't necessarily mean that you're an evil person, but if you have not been learning the lessons and taking the time to learn the lessons, it really is piling up. I love my family, don't get me wrong, but my sister's one of those people you can't tell her anything. And, it's a life of constant struggle and stress, and can I borrow money, and can I do this, and, this is bad, and this is bad, and we're bad, and I'm getting in another argument, and you can't tell her anything. So it's her journey, right? You try to tell her, she doesn't listen. But you definitely start to see every conversation, it's more and more and more, because she's not handling her business. So basically that whole situation is the same intuitive hit that I found for this week. So if things have been happening where it's like things are piling on you, you have to face it. And for some of you, that means you got to get out of a relationship that you've been in that hasn't served you for years. Maybe you have to let go of friends who haven't served you for years. Maybe you got to let go of a job that hasn't served you for years. And if you go into this with like, I can do these things, but also be taken care of and supported by the universe, by my spirit guide, by my spirit team that I'm developing a connection with, it's not going to be as scary than if you do it on your own. So invoking a higher power is very, very important right now if you are the person going in the down level, because you're going to need something, but it's going to keep piling on, and it's not pretty. And I love my family, but I always tell you guys, if you look at it, like a lot of them are 3D and a lot of them are not ascending. And it's really obvious. So like another family member, got in a fight at work and lost their job. Like that doesn't just happen. But right now the energy is so chaotic. If you are not working on manifesting extremely positive things for yourself and family, like this world is going to get you. And you're going to manifest the negative if you're not being intentional about manifesting the positive. So if you're just letting life happen to you, life right now can be dangerous, okay? It can be very fraught with just very negative things right now. So it's very important, they're saying, to just be intentional, and it's going to be amplified, and it's happening all around. So I hope that brought some clarity, and just they're very straightforward. Like, hey, if you're not working on yourself and you're letting things pile up, you know what to do, okay? You know what to do. Even if you start just by admitting what you want, that's even more positive than running from it. So if you think it's hopeless and, it doesn't matter, I can't get another job, okay, have that thought. But even if you go, okay, my intention is to get a new job, even if you don't do anything else except acknowledge and set an intention to do the positive thing outside of the negative that has been tried, that is enough to amplify you going in a completely new direction. But I want you to see how it is your choice. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to not be intentional and just let life happen to you. But this world is not pretty. I don't get people who just let life happen to them, because this world will eat you up, I've noticed. And I'm so intentional because that's my shield of protection. So I can walk the way that I want to walk is my intentions. Like, okay, I don't like this, but this is what I do want. So let me articulate that and focus on that versus what's bad. Like, I see it's bad, but I focus on what I want to invoke my spirit team to start working on it. Even while I'm living a normal life, they're working on my behalf. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. That is the week's energy. Things are polarizing, so it's amplifying in any direction that you're going. I don't think you can straddle the fence right now. You got to choose a side. You got to choose what you're going to do. You're going to choose happiness, or you're going to choose non-happiness, right? Like, you're going to choose the opposite, but you're not really going to get the choice to sit on the fence this week and what's coming. You're going to have to choose one. And I prefer, and the reason I'm putting these videos out, just to show you what I've done, I'm choosing light. I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing love of this 3D life. And I'm also in choosing manifesting, right? Like going, I want this. Honestly, that's all you have to do, is say what you actually want without avoiding it, and you'll be okay. But people won't even admit what they want because they don't think they can have it. But just say it. I want to be a multimillionaire. I do. I want to be a billionaire. Say it. I do. Okay? Not in a weird way. I'm not going to be greedy. But I want it. Well, not the billionaire one. Actually, I just want the word millionaire, to be honest. I don't need to be a billionaire. But if it comes, blessings. But just saying what you want uninhibitedly, and with love and with laughter and with honoring yourself, because that's really what you want. If you just start right there, I'm telling you, that'll do so much for putting you on a very positive trajectory into what we're heading into, okay? So I am a little bit more into the mindset manifestation, but shoot, why not? You can do it. Like, these tools are easy. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope it was helpful. I love you guys all. Soul tribe, soul family. Most of you guys who find me, I either have a soul contract with, or you're in my soul family, or you're a fellow warrior, or you just ask your spirit to lead you to the right person, or you needed help with something, and your spirit team and God led you here. So we are meant to connect and be together, and that's wonderful. Leave your comments below if the last 2 days have been heavy for you. Leave a comment below also if the today was really heavy and a little dark and overcast, because this is the 3 days of darkness and healing. I'm, like I said, taking the time to fast, a water fast for these 3 days, and really focus on my healing, my energy healings that I do. But also let me know how it's going for you, and also let us know if you're able to switch, if you're going negative, if you're able to switch to the positive, right? No one said it was easy. We just said we had to do it, right? So it is nice if you are having those struggles with being more positive, post below, because I'd love to just give you some words of encouragement. I know it's hard, but this is who you are and what you can do. And if you are moving positively and you're noticing these floodgates opening up of potentiality, put that down too, so people know this is real. The energy work is real, and if you work with the energy, it will amplify itself. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. It's late. I'm a little bit more tired, but also really on the lookout tomorrow. I have an interview where we discuss a clairaudient channeler who channeled about the 7 rays, and how melanated beings like this ray, but the other beings are in the pink ray. And it's very interesting when you get into it, what the different rays are for, and what they are brought here spiritually to manifest and do in this life. You won't be surprised to know that we're warriors to anchor in justice and freedom and what's right. So it's an interesting conversation that'll premiere tomorrow at 3. So have a great day.